Here, game number 2, Bangkok Titans, this time playing on the blue side, Saigon Fantastic 5 on the red side. The bands are all locked in except for that last one. Will it be the Sejuani band coming out from SF5 though?
Yeah, and of course we are coming back from a huge game that actually SF5 managed to come back from, off of that pentakill from Minus, of course, and what a game it has been. If you missed out on that one, do head on down to youtube.com/TheGarena Singapore to catch on the vault after today's event.
Yeah, that's right. Cassiopeia is the band that has been led through here by SF5. They banned it out last game. It was the Z Nunu Cassiopeia band earlier, compared to, I believe it was the Scion Rek'Sai, Scion Zac.
Oh my
and
god.
There we go. Cassiopeia being locked in instantly. Haha. No surprise right there.
Well, I mean, Bangkok Titans, their success formula has been pretty much revolved around Cassiopeia yesterday in their series against ISG Legends. So not too surprising that they would have that for themselves. But question is, Nunu is out of the equation. So what do you think they'll substitute it with? Will it be Jarvan again?
I think the idea here for the Bangkok Titans is that you just want to go with your double Juggernauts or double Cinderhawks, whichever you want to call it, in your top lane and in the jungle, as long as they pick 2 champions who can be remotely tanky and make use of the Cinderhawk enchantment, they're going to do fine because they're going to peel for Cassiopeia. They're going to give that safe zone for Cassiopeia, and that's what the Bangkok Titans has been doing in all the games that they've won. In the previous one, I mean, Jarvan was kind of a miss. He was still rather squishy despite jumping into the front lines, and that's just not a good thing. And it's really surprising to me that SF5 here are defaulting back to the Hecarim. They could have done that in game 1, but instead they went for a different pick that we saw earlier, of course, that Rumble, and that didn't really work out all too well for them.
Yeah, I think it was pretty disastrous for Azizi, and hopefully with this Hecarim pick, he will be able to step up to the game right here. But of course, you got to think in the player's perspective as well, the player's mentality. BKT in game number 1 held on to a almost more than 8,000 goal lead for more than 10 minutes of the game, but subsequently, off of one fatal mistake, they dropped the game to SF5. So SF5, one thing, they definitely wouldn't feel that great themselves because they knew that, okay, we actually kind of got that one off of a fluke. And BKT, they cannot beat themselves down and say, we kind of made that mistake. They gotta move on from that and focus on this particular game.
Yeah, here's the weird part about this pick and ban phase. BKT here very tunneling and very transparent in the type of bans that they want to come out with. They lock in the Cassiopeia first, the Jarvan and the Graves follow up. Where's the Maokai from Warlock? Where are all those power picks here? They could have forced SF5 to kind of give them certain powerful picks like Zac, like Scion, instead of banning it out. Optimus here could have banned out an Ahri from him as well. Yes, it was not a threat in the previous game, but still he's very comfortable on that champion. Vi is still available. Not sure why the GPL teams have not picked that one up just yet. SF5 have locked that in finally, and it's going to be the last rotation of picks on the side of the Bangkok Titans. Will they steal away certain champions? They don't have any more champions to actually steal away now. They've picked their AD carry, they've locked in the jungler. All that's left is their top laner and the support, and I don't know if Warlock really wants to pick the Maokai into the Hecarim matchup here.
Yeah, big concern for Bangkok Titans right now, and SF5, perhaps a throwback to all. We all know that between Vi as well as Ahri, they have this huge potential at the level 6 mark to create a pick.
Shen into Hecarim isn't such a good matchup. Valen here is going to definitely lock in the Lulu as well. I fully expected the Lulu, but Shen, again, I don't know. I just felt it was BKT not giving ISG Legends the full respect that they deserved in that final game, and they were struggling in the top lane quite a bit. It will be that split push going with that Barmy Cinder into the Sunfire's cape and just tanking up a lot of damage. Shen just is able to soak up a lot of damage, but can he survive the laning phase? Can he get out of there with enough gold to transition into those late game items? And right here, Minus, I will have to say, he either locks in the Kalista or the Vayne. A lot of good single target damage coming out from SF5 and good disengage here. Really good stuff coming out from their entire team comp. Just very surprised in the pick order that it actually happened to. You know that Warlock does not play Hecarim at all. Every time Bangkok Titans in the series against ISG Legends left Hecarim open, neither team picked it up.
Okay, I was actually hoping that Kun will be locked in because recent times, competitive play, we do see a lot of crazy picks come around.
You do.
Yeah, so I mean, if we're going to see a Queen of, it's like, oh my god, it's a Queen, and it's like, oh, actually it's played somewhere else. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really surprised to see the Corki in this team composition though. Corki here, I don't know, just can't keep up with the speed of Hecarim, of Vi, of Ari. I feel that someone like Kalista, someone like Vayne could do a lot better in this one. Just sort of move forward and kite backwards with Uzi here to reset the entire fight. Just really good stuff that they can actually do overall. And I just feel that, SF5 here have a pretty comfortable team comp. Bangkok Titans, I'm not favoring their team comp all too much. 77X, I have to see again, will he build that Warriors Enchantment? Because earlier you saw he got kind of melted down quite fast in the later stages of the game. This will not be any different. Hecarim here, Trinity Force, he's going to start chunking you for a lot of damage. Minus has an insane amount of burst power the moment you try to dive out against him. G4 though on a very solid champion. He might be the one to just carry his entire team on his backs and take Bangkok Titans to the victory in the second game.
Yeah, I do feel like that's going to be the case here. And I think, back to the point about Minus and, his AD carry choice here. I do think that he might be thinking or considering about the Kalista or even the Vayne, but if you look back at his track record on those sort of champions, it's not too well for him.
Yeah.
So perhaps on the safe side here, they want to at least secure that 2-game lead before going to game 3.
I would say even go with the silver pick, you see.
Okay.
Yes, you're not going with the Kalista, you're not going with the Vayne, but hey, not Kalista, but Sylvia here, press R, a deaf horse runs at you, and a girl with gigantic fists starts punching you. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough. SF5, if you look at their team comp, they have the Hecarim, they have the Ari, like you mentioned. So the one good thing going for them is that they do have a very strong laning phase, and they do have a very good mid-game power spike. They have to be very careful that they do not drag this out against BKT, though. So we'll be looking forward to see if they can break through the difficulties that they face in game number 1. Because in that particular series, we did see that BKT, throughout the laning phase, throughout the early to mid stages itself, they were very comfortable with their overall composition and how it worked out for them, and even using the double TP to really come into light when it comes to the strategic gameplay itself, and we'll see if that replicates by itself. But we won't see the double TP. We do have the barrel on G4 though, and ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is going to be game number 2 of the Best of 5 series, Grand Finals of GPL Spring Split 2015 SF5 with a 1-game lead. I believe the overlays are kind of switched around for a bit, but you get the idea.
Yeah, that's right. SF5 playing on the red side, of course.
And yeah.
We've got a pick ban overlays right now. It's okay. We'll get it sorted out soon. No worries.
No, wrong team. No.
There we go.
There we go.
We got it. It's okay. No action happening just yet.
Yeah.
1 minute, 20 seconds. I'm very surprised there's no lane swap actually going on here. For the side of either team, especially on the side of BKT.
Well, I think it's playing out in the favor of SF5 in that case, because the top lane, not particularly in the mid lane or the bottom lane, but really the top lane, SF5 would want it to go into standard lane matchups because of that Hecarim. You can abuse that power in the laning phase itself and to really bully out Shen in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, we'll see how that matchup actually goes. Both the bottom laners just it does seem like BKT is opting to the normal lanes as well. Let's see what their game plan really is. Will 77X be camping the top? Because you could bait Azizi into putting himself in a very precarious position. The amount of crowd control coming out from both 77X and Warlock can be quite big, and Hecarim is not one of the tankiest champions in the early stages of the game either.
Yeah, I'm really quite skeptical about this Shen play. Haven't seen him in competitive for a while now, and the one weakness that we always point out when you have this tanky top laner to go up against Hecarim, like for example, let's take for example a Maokai. One thing you gotta take note of is that you don't have a lot of kill threat.
Level 2 cheese coming on in. The flash being burnt instantly as well, and there is one flash burn in the bottom lane.
Are we gonna see a repeat from 77X? I don't think that's
unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. So I was saying, up in the top lane, Azizi as well as Warlock. The one thing that Warlock is going to face is that you don't have any sort of kill threat onto Azizi. So even if you have 77X moving up to actually help you, you might not even secure the kill. So that's something that SF5 needs to consider. And now Jinky almost looking to punch G4 in the face, but he did see 7X move around to the side, so decided against it.
Yeah, game number 2 here. If SF5 really wants to close it out well based on their performance last game, it's going to be on the onus of Jinky, especially with this team composition. Opening up with the Vi ultimate is going to be really, really big. At least for this composition, the onus here does not really rely all too much on Jinky, so a bit of pressure has been elevated or released from him. And his Zac play was, I have to say, lackluster. Vi a little bit more direct here. His game sense is quite well, and wow, Uzi takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, Valor just harassing him down with the help picks, as well as the Glitter Lunch just chunking him down low. And that's the thing about, I think, the Janna and Lulu lane as well. You gotta take note of the burst damage that Lulu can deal. At one point of time, Lulu was at the pinnacle of the support picks.
Did Jinky get a 3 buff start?
Did he get
the mid lane though?
Oh, hold on now. First Blood's gonna go over to Jinky as 7X came around. No,
okay.
He didn't get a 3 buff start.
Because 7X was actually one entire level down against Jinky, so that's possibly that journey into the bot and the mid lane here. And that was just a really good first blood coming out from SF5.
Yeah, very preemptive as well, or rather a very fast one. Even before the level 6 stage, we all, talked about how Vi as well as Ari has this really good combo going for them once it hits the level 6 stage.
Even before that, it's just really, really good as well. The charm into the Vault Breaker.
And if you take note of the games that G4 had success on the Cassiopeia, it's always at the stage where your opponents find it very difficult to gank you while you're in lane, and you can hit level 6 very, very easily. And that's where the Petrifying Gaze is going to come into effect when your opponents start to group up and try to, advance towards you. You can use that Petrifying Gaze to just stop the advancements.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for Azizi to try to freeze this lane. It's not happening just yet. That could actually choke Warlock out of quite a bit of CS. He's already falling about 5 CS behind his counterpart. And overall, it's just a quiet game here and there.
Except for the first blood.
Except for the first blood, yes.
That's right.
Jinky showing that he can do something.
That's right, a vastly different start towards game number 1 now. SF5 nailing the first nail into the coffin and saying, we are easily as capable of having a good early game plays. And Jinky really moving towards the damage source as well, going towards that Warrior Enchantment.
Yeah. Here's what's working for the Bangkok Titans. So G4's on a very comfortable champion. Lloyd is on a very comfortable champion. Valen is a very comfortable champion. Can comfort breed victory? That's my question here.
Yeah. More importantly, they cannot let what happened in game 1 affect their mentality here. You do not want to fall into that trap where you just go into tilt. But right now, it doesn't look like that's quite the case here with Lloyd as well as Valen just holding their own very well in the bottom lane.
Corki just does not do well against these regular bottom lane matchups anymore, like against Lucian, against Kalista, against Graves. Corki has just fallen off. The Trinity Force champion alone in the bottom lane just doesn't do well. You pair him up with another Triforce champion, such as Ezreal in the mid lane or Hecarim in the top lane. The absurd mid-game power spike, well, I just described it. It's absurd.
The absurd power spike is absurd.
Yeah.
Intensity intensifies.
Yeah.
Oh, Optimus gonna get spotted out by 7X.
Both of them get spotted out, yeah.
So 7X gonna take a huge chunk of damage from the mid laner of SF5. Means that the jungler is gonna back off for now. And I do like the strategy that Azizi is running with at the top lane, just shoving out the wave. Because one thing that Shen finds it difficult to deal with is just wave kill. So if you can just clear out the waves, make it very hard for him to leave the lane itself, you can punish him for it. That's the classic textbook way of dealing with a top lane Shen.
It is, but Shen farms quite well on the turret in my opinion.
Well, I mean, he does.
He has Key Strike, he has the Volvo Blades, so that's not the problem. Just that you constantly pressure him down into that area, and that prevents him from actually getting the Stand United. Because if he decides to Stand United into a team fight, there's gonna be pressure on that, and Aziz can just choose to give away the teleport here.
Oh, Lloyd taking a lot of damage, as well as having Uzi in the mix to support Minus as well. We might see Lloyd just back off of there and...
Wow, very brave. Staying back here. He has the BF sword though. He wants to push that advantage.
We do see Warlock with the Bemis Cinder coming into play. So
no surprise, he rushes Sunfire Cape as his he rushes Barmy Cinder, not the Sunfire Cape, as his first item here.
So that's going to help with the wave clear for a little bit. But right now SF5 has something else in sight as they will take advantage of the rotational movements and take the first dragon for themselves. And with Minus as well as Uzi coming into the Tri-Brush to clear out that pink ward, it's a clear indicator that the first dragon has already been lost for BKT.
Yeah, that's right. And in addition to that as well, that was a really good call. Oh, look, Azizi taking quite a bit of damage from Warlock here. Multiple Vorpal Blades, multiple key strikes here, as well as his W getting the shield on, blocking as much damage as he can. A lot of pings going on the red side, blue side jungle of the Bangkok Titans. What is going on? Will there be a pick set up here by Jinky? They look like they want to take away the blue buff. Jinky not going to jump over onto the other side. The Vault Breaker will go on to cooldown right now. SF5 though, they still have that 1 kill lead and that dragon, putting themselves about 700 gold ahead of Bangkok Titans.
Yeah, and you actually saw between Warlock as well as Azizi when they were trading up in the river area, Azizi was actually struggling a little bit. So that might be that answer that BKT has developed, to deal with this top lane hacker. And you say like, all right, you know what, you can take that pick. We are just going to use Shannon, a champion that hasn't seen the light for a while. And based on numbers itself, we might see Warlock just win it out.
Again, just extended laning phase here just makes me wonder who benefits the most from this. In the top lane is so obvious. Azizi just does so well. And the moment SF5 gets enough farm to hit the Trinity Force items, as well as Ari for her first major item, the Morellonomicon that she's building right now, Warlock here might be in a little bit of trouble actually.
Yeah, look at that.
Azizi takes quite a bit of the minion damage, but he's just going to clear the wave instantly now.
Yeah, usually if, let's say you're a Maokai, so I think, BKT or rather Warlock is really making a point here with this Shen pick. Usually when you have something like a Maokai, you'll just find that, it's really difficult to deal with a hacker room straight up in the lane stuff. But, for Shen, he doesn't really care. He just flows down the Vorpal Blade, regens off of it, and he's just going to be fine.
Yeah, he will have that almost infinite sustain there as long as he manages to start last hitting as well as killing minions as well. Right now though, SF5 will be very happy to continue the laning phase. They don't need to push any turrets. They just want this laning phase to go on as long as they want to. The moment the 24 items come up, really, that's go time for SF5. And in the mid lane though,
that's right, G-Force going to be the focus right here. He has to splash out of the way. Huge petrifying gaze is going to buy some time. And Warlock comes into the fight a little bit too late though. And here comes double 7x. In fact, trapping his teammate. That's going to be the double now for Jinky. And 3 members go down in succession. SF5 cashes in the money in the bank here as they will try to push for the mid lane turret itself.
Yeah, this is SF5. SF5 using their level 6 abilities all together. You saw the Assault and Battery, you saw the teleport into the Onslaught here, and of course it was the Spirit Rush and the Charm that started everything off. SF5 here knowing when they can use their champions and really expect big fights from now on. You will have those items getting completed very, very soon as well.
Yeah, and you can tell from that movement right there that SF5 is just exploiting the strategy from BKT right here. It might be an indication that SF5 intentionally left that Cassiopeia open. And if you think about Cassiopeia overall as a champion, yes, she does have very good damage over time. She is pretty good with her crowd controls as well. But one thing she's not is that she is not mobile whatsoever. And Optimus as well as Jinky got the right lockdown onto her, or rather onto G4 in that case, and just picked him off so simply. It was almost textbook style.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I'm concerned about BKT in this Best of 5 series is 777X's performance. On Nunu yesterday, he was brilliant, moving around the map, taking camps, going for the counter gank, supporting his team. On Jarvan in Game 1 and right now in Game 2, he's just been off his game, not reading the junglers very well. And Jinky, despite doing a alright job in Game number 1, he's doing a great job in Game number 2. And if you can't match that, you're gonna lose absolutely almost all your lanes here.
That's right, 2,000 gold lead for SF5 at the 13-minute mark, and
Wow, not just your lanes, your jungle as well.
yeah, G4 is going to find himself in a lot of trouble. Here comes the chump down as well. A punch to the face secures the kill for Optimus.
Yeah, do you see the layering of that one? It was Optimus going in first with the Spirit Rush into the charm, backing away from this one just in case the Petrifying Gaze come out, and then Jinky followed up. Jinky did not even have to use his Assault and Battery despite it being up.
You gotta wonder now what happened to this SF5 playing in game number 1. This is nothing like what happened in that particular game itself, and SF5 just pushing for their advantages right now, which I feel like is the best decision for them. Like what we identified in the pick and ban phase, this team composition has so much strength in the first 20 minutes or so. SF5 knows that, they're abusing that, they're taking every single objective from the map before BKT can even find the time to respond.
Yeah, this will be pressure on the entire map and will open up Dragon number 2 to Saigon Fantastic 5. The moment they take this away, this should be about 2 to 3 minutes later when both Trinity forces start appearing onto the map, and then they can force even bigger team fights. Warlock is not going to scale at all in the first 25 minutes of the game. He's just gotten his Sunfire's Cave. That's good stuff, but that's not enough. Right now, Dragon's going to be taken up. 7X again going for the Warrior's Edge Shaman and into the pickaxe. He's not tanky at all. He's going to get melted. G4's going to get melted. Lloyd and Valen, maybe not so much. Valen has the Wild Growth, can save one member, but that's just one member. Who are you going to save? G4, Lloyd, you're going to save one of the tanks? I'm not very sure. The dive potential from SF5, immense.
Yeah, that's right. So SF5 is going to secure yet another objective in the form of that second dragon. And they're going to look for the next opportunity. Has already secured a 3,000 gold lead for themselves. So BKT will be pressured to make a play somewhere around the map. And it might be at the top side. We do see G4 just sticking around in the Tri-Brush area though. Optimus is going to use that blue buff to push as much as possible, chop up the mid wave. They do know for a fact that G4 is not around the vicinity, so they can try to abuse that wave clear coming in from Ari.
Yeah, T-Force number 1 has been completed already on the side of Minus. We're waiting for Azizi to pick up his own. In addition to that, if you take a look at this, they're all just farming the big minion waves. That's all they want to do. They just want to get the gold. They just want to go for their core items. And right now, there might be a dive that could happen down onto onto BKT here in the top lane. Let's see where the roam of Optimus as well as Minus will be going to here.
Yeah, ZZ got to be quite careful though. Sometimes you cannot... when you haven't seen a champion for a while, you tend to forget what the strengths of the champion are.
Take a look at this.
You gotta be very careful about diving a Shen on the turret because the taunt is gonna do so much work.
Yeah, BKT has a pretty good read here though.
Yeah,
it is going to be a 3v5 at the moment. 7X making his way up right now. 4v5. Can they fight this one though?
Here we go, the Petrifying Gaze doing so much work. And now Warlock right at the front. Azizi gonna use the Onslaught of Shadow, go all the way to the back. G4 is gonna be the first target to fall, and Jinky is gonna fall up as well. A huge knockout coming into place. Optimus flashing onto 7X. A mistake made now from SF5 here. Turret goes down. 1-to-1 exchange. Will BKT look to chase? I don't quite know, but it seems like they will not choose to do so. So changing 1-to-1, but SF5 got the objective off of that push.
That was a really good dive by SF5. They took the turret, instantly dived onto Warlock. They should have sensed something because no one was actually onto the map and Warlock was still staying in the area, and they should have known that it was very much a trap and backed off from there. But BKT here again, looking like they understand the map a little better, recognizing that SF5 have disappeared completely from the entire game, and they were like, okay, you're gonna dive Warlock, it's so obvious, let's try to go for the counter gang. G4 landing a 3-man ultimate as well.
That's right, that was a huge ultimate for him, but I don't know, I just feel like certain things could have been timed better. Like for example, the Wild Growth on Valen could have been reserved for G4 in that case, but instead he popped it onto Warlock, and that didn't quite do a lot for SF5. Or rather for BKT in that scenario. So they can only take that one-to-one exchange, and SF5 just forcing the fights down to BKT. They know for a fact that there's no way that BKT can outscale in terms of damage at this point of the game. So just making sure that they can force off the objective off of that while SF5 still has the power spike advantage.
We'll see. SF5 right now. How much gold is Azizi actually sitting on right here? He's about 1,000-ish gold. That's not enough for the Triforce. Needs another 100 and about 200 gold to actually complete it though. So that's gonna be that. SF5 here, really again on that tipping point right now. Azizi's gonna go back. He's gonna pick up, I don't know, a Zeal maybe? He has that longsword. Okay, he sells that longsword, picks up the Triforce. Straight up. Makes me wonder where that Triforce is going to, and the needlessly large rod as well, sorry, from Optimus. Big stuff.
Well, we gotta look forward to more burst damage from Optimus then. SF5 though, they need to be careful not to fall into the same trap for Bangkok Titans, which is having the advantage earlier on but not being able to close out the game. So we're at the 19-minute stage. All the outer turrets are down for Bangkok Titans. BKT has taken one off of SF5, but that's about it. So SF5 has the item advantage, has the level advantage. You can even count the dragon advantage as well. So all this coming into play here. A bit hesitant to make the picks happen, but at least they're grouping up together, and we might see some stuff happen. And you know, look at how willing they are to exploit the vision. You know, just putting out two wards at the same location. They know everyone's on the same page there. They know what to do.
You made a mistake sound like something extremely good here, Chris.
I don't know. It's a form of dedication. You know, sometimes you see how the Korean teams do. They place like 4 wards at one time in the same rush. Everyone's like, all right, let's go there. Let's secure some vision. Everyone's like, oh.
I don't know. I think it's just at that high elo level where you're like, all right, guys, it's time for me to walk this rush, and everyone's thinking the exact same thing. It's like, oh, and then you see 4 wards.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of these moments. Remember the good old times of the 5-man Gambit flash?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're so much on the same page, things like this happen.
Yeah, things happen indeed. Dragon's gonna come up in about 10 seconds. Azizi being that very big duelist here. If anyone was to be sent to deal with Azizi, I don't know, maybe Lloyd. And I don't even think that's gonna be even effective at all.
I think Warlock is just fine.
I don't know.
I think that Warlock is just fine.
Warlock is not gonna stop the push at all from Azizi. Azizi very likely can dive Warlock right now if he wants to, with Ignite up.
Oh, that's true. I mean, we haven't been able to see how this Triforce actually amplifies the output from...
We haven't made a scene yet. We know that it can amplify the damage.
That's right.
And you're not going to match the split push. You're not going to match the split push.
Yeah.
The only advantage...
Spin right round and spin to win, man.
Yeah, he's going to spin Warlock's hit right round.
Spin it right round as ZZ...
How many members are they going to commit to Azizi? That's my question. And if they do commit, what can SF5 take from a member's advantage elsewhere on the map?
I'm not too sure about that though. Right now they're still concerned about farming up for themselves. We do see a fair bit of vision being secured around the Baron Pit area. And Optimus now might find himself in a bit of trouble. They meet up, and here we go now, Spirit Rush. Look at how quickly Valen is falling, and that is going to be 2 members right off the bat. Onslaught of Shadow for ZZ. He's going to dash her right into the face of Warlock as well as Lloyd, but that is going to be the end of that fight. SF5 might be looking at more the Warlock.
Oh, the pink wall bait.
Oh, here we go now. A Solid Berry onto G4. He's just going to get melted down, and now with 3 men down on the side of BKT. This is going to be Baron time for SF5.
That was a fantastic pick coming in from Optimus and Jinky, and really Jinky has turned up his game so much ever since that, you know, Zack, I think he has not hit a single elastic slingshot in game number 1 within the team fights.
I think he hit it, but he hit it on the floor.
Okay, yeah, not on champions. That's my point there. And look at Jinky right now. Goes in, Vault Breakers, and hey, I've got a point and click ultimate. What are you gonna do?
You can't cleanse it as well, so...
Yeah, you can't.
SF5 now, 8,000 gold lead, 9-1 in terms of kill count. Baron buff, 3 Dragon buffs as well. I have to say this is pretty much in the back for this guy.
Hey, that's what we said for
what we said
BKT in the previous game.
But I don't know, things are looking kind of shaky for BKT now.
Again,
Very
SF5
shaky, yeah.
are the quote-unquote veterans here. They are the newer team as compared to the BKT squad, but they have been playing at the higher level of the GPL longer than what the BKT squad has been playing.
Okay, fair enough.
So
I would say both of them are equal veterans.
I consider them the stronger team here, the favorite team as well. And whoa, send 2 members down to take out Azizi.
Here we go now, down south.
There
is gonna get taken down by Optimus, Spirit Rush, Assault and Battery, everything thrown down. And SF5 give no hoots to Azizi's death. They are just gonna focus on what's more important right
Exactly.
here. And that is the bottom lane inhibitor turret.
So you see, they give up Azizi. What do they get? They get 2 turrets, a kill, and an inhibitor.
So much more value for
Exactly.
SF5.
And like I said, how many members is BKT going to commit to the Azizi split push? They commit 2 members, Warlock and G4. And instantly, you see pressure alleviated throughout the rest of the map. 77X is not tanky enough, can't be the front line for Lloyd. Valen and Lloyd here, the Wild Growth's not enough to protect Valen. Simple as that.
So SF5 looking for more here as they group up in the mid lane once again. Will take out yet another turret without any contact from BKT whatsoever. And I was about to say, for G4 finally breaking through the cocoon here, getting 1 kill for himself, but at what cost? At the cost of the bottom lane inhibitor, and SF5 just pretty much looking to seal this game for himself.
Blue buff being taken away by Optimus. 10,000 gold lead at the 25-minute mark. This is the epitome of a power spike, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, here we go now, looking towards Lloyd once again. A lot of burst damage laid down onto him. Optimus as well as Azizi, both solo laners just grouping up in the top lane, recognizing that the Baron buff is going to do a lot of work for themselves, so going to stick around for now. Baron buff is going to die down.
It's gone.
That's gone. It has died down by itself, but
it's gone.
I think the damage has already been done. You know, bottom lane, 24-minute mark, getting the super minions by itself. We will be able to see Warlock defend it, but not for too long, I think.
Yeah. So at this point of the game, BKT has a huge hill to climb. They have to get the gold lead back to roughly even. They have to not fight and farm for days right now because Azizi is not going to get any more damage items. He's already at really absurd amounts of damage. What he needs now is to get health and resistances.
Yeah.
He will have the Spirit of Dread to keep himself healthy. He will just need to be sticky. He just needs to stick to as many members in the team fight, not die and spin everyone's head around. Off their heads actually, like behead them. He has to just do that. What we have from BKT though is a very interesting situation. They don't have the exact best wave clear, and neither does SF5. Actually, SF5 has a pretty good kind of siege game going on with the Ahri and not Optimus, but Minus on the Corki. And BKT really here has just lost the inhibitor down in the bottom earlier after that trade for Azizi. And they really just need to scale. Shen does really well in the late game, becomes almost unstoppable, especially with his W. G4 does a lot of damage. 500 stacks on Cassiopeia is no joke. It's like a free death cap, almost a free death cap. And that's why you don't see G4 actually picking up any of those AP items just yet. He should be going for it now and start dealing damage.
Yeah, question is, can they get to that point though? I feel like because of the lack of wave clear from BKT, it's actually compromised 77X tanky abilities. He has opted to go for that Tiamat instead and should be going towards the Ravenous Hydra soon. But
yeah,
what they really need now is someone to be that demi-tank, you know, someone to go alongside with Warlock to help stall the battle for G4 to deal damage.
To really be honest here, Chris, I think in the current meta, a off-tank or a semi-tank or a demi-tank, whatever you want to call it, is not enough. Is just not enough. Right now, Optimus just being chased away. Inhibitor turret down to about half HP. 77X needs to embrace the Cinderhawk enchantment on whatever champion he plays. He really does. Jinky can get away with it and right out the fight.
Everyone chasing in G4, the first target right here. Petrifying Gaze is going to buy some time, but not quite enough. Monsoon going to get popped by Uzi to top his teammate off. Get some health back. 4v5 situation now. I think SF5 is definitely going to take this inhibitor turret for themselves. Gonna wait for the minion waves to come around, but numbers
it's still a 4v5 though.
Yeah, numbers advantage should secure this one for them.
Goes with the TP as well.
Yeah, to just get extra items. And here comes the ZZ with the
my
home guard.
goodness.
Just to get the extra chunk of damage down onto the top lane inhibitor. SF5 securing 2 inhibitors for themselves. Bottom one should be coming up soon, but once again, you know, just creating the craters in the base of BKT.
Yeah, definitely many asteroids landing in BKT's home ground right now.
It's just out of this world.
Yeah, so you see, in BKT's lineup, when you saw the Hecarim after your first pick Cassiopeia, where is your disengage? That's the very first question you need to ask yourself. Where does your disengage come from? If you can reset the fight, burn ultimates from the side of SF5, you can do things. Double 7X is gonna get caught out right now.
That's right, ZZ is gonna chase down onto him. A huge chunk of damage
the
comes
flash.
through. Forces the flash off of Double 7X.
Double 7X just not tanky at all. Has the Warrior's Enchantment and the Ravenous Hydra. Actually really surprised as well that Jinky picks up the Warrior's Enchantment on his own instead of the Cinderhawk. I mean, yes, Vi does quite a bit of damage, but just think about it. If you have 2 gigantic tanks in the front line, just oh my goodness.
Double 7X gonna get melted down. Optimus secures the kill. It looks like he is in prime position right now to secure the win for the team. Onslaught of Shadow down onto Warlock.
Assault battery.
That's right, the focus now onto G4. Look at that chunk of damage down to him. He's gonna be able to pop that shield for a short while to top up his health, but not quite enough. ZZ secures the kill yet again. Warlock getting pushed away from the base over here as SF5 just looks to close off the game. 4 members now down on the side of BKT. They should have what it takes as the first Nexus turret is going to be the focus here. He's going to come around from Warlock as well.
Yeah, he wants to stop the laser from actually coming out. Allow SF5 to win the game a little bit easier. SF5 really got their game down, had a huge momentum swing in game 1, took it to game 2, took it to town to BKT, and BKT really desperately needs to go back to the drawing board here, Chris.
Yeah, making it a game point in the best of 5 series as well. BKT, if there's any sort of secret strategies, now it's the best time to pull it out. If not, we'll see a grand champion in the form of SF5. And I think this is one of the games that illustrates what puts the Fantastic in Saigon Fantastic 5.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of climbed back from the 269 game that they had yesterday. They shot up all their mistakes. They gave us a very tight game 1 and swung based on a pentakill and that momentum swing. That must have boosted their confidence so much that they took it all the way to game 2. Nunu seems to be a very pivotal piece of BKT's team comp. I wonder if 7X can pull off something else other than Jarvan.
Yeah, that's right. So we should be going into game number 3 very, very shortly after the break. So we will see you then to find out if we will crown a new champion in Saigon Fantastic 5.